Good morning, sophomores. All right, so I want to go over what we're doing this week. So we're going to go to week 11, and we have our mind map submission. So you will want to make sure that you submit your mind map to this assignment submission. If you are taking a picture of your mind map, please make sure that it's clear and that I can see everything, okay? So I'll ask you to submit that. Then today I want to talk about the assignment for our poetry graffiti, which will actually be due on the second day next week. So you can see that right here that that's due the second day for hour 3. Hour 6, yours will be due on Thursday because I won't see you until Wednesday. So, and then we have our protest poems, which go with the assignment. So we're going to look at our poetry graffiti presentation first. All right, so we have some protest poems in this week's folder. So there's one called Street Demonstration, Girl Held Without Bail, Children's Rhymes, The Idiot, Ballad of Birmingham, and Alabama Centennial. And so you're going to go and read through all of those poems. Okay, now this is an opportunity for you to be a little more creative. So you're going to read through the protest poems packet, choose one poem that you really like or that you really identify with. And using this poem, you are going to create a picture graffiti for it. And this picture should focus on the theme of the poem. So it's not like a picture of the imagery presented in the poem. It's actually focused on the theme, okay? So what is the author, what is the poet saying about this topic? Your picture should include color and some obvious thought and effort. Stick people are not effort, okay? Do your best. I'm not grading you on your artistic abilities, but I do want to see some effort. Now, it wouldn't be English class if I didn't ask you to do a little bit of writing with us, okay? So I'm going to ask you to be sure that you include the following for your graffiti. So you're going to explain your picture. What did you draw? Okay, why did you draw that? In other words, like, how does your drawing connect to the poem? What is the theme of the poem? So you're answering that question, like, what is the author, what is the poet saying about blank? In that blank, you're filling in the topic of the poem, okay? If it helps, use the TP Fast to analyze the poem, okay? Remember, your theme should be specific, but not too specific, so you want to think back to that theme assignment from week 3, which you can still access. When we did the 3 stories, like the 3 Little Pigs or the My Shoes or the Billy Goat's Gruff, what was the theme of those? Think back to that. And then what examples from the poem support your theme? Now I've included an example if you want to see an example. And it has a little bit of review of things you can look for in your poem as well, which can be helpful. So these are some poetic devices you can look for in a poem. All right, so imagery, diction, which is a fancy way of saying word choice, similes, metaphors, personification, alliteration, assonance, consonants, onomatopoeia, and a rhyme scheme. And this presentation goes through and explains all of those in some detail, okay? So just to kind of give you a little bit of a refresher for all of that. So this is an example of a poem that I really broke up. I kind of used a combination of TP Fast and kind of grouping things together, identifying elements, poetic devices that I saw being used in the poem. And so I highlighted things. I highlighted where the sentences ended. I, noticed the rhyme scheme. I asked, questions with this. I looked up words. What are they doing? And I paraphrased. So I used really the TP Fast and I just added in more poetic devices that I saw. So ultimately, this led me to sort of grouping things. I was looking for like some patterns that I saw, and kind of like looking again at like the title and the paraphrasing again. So this is all figurative language on the left-hand column here. So, you know, a glossy purple clot, that just sort of stood out to me. You know, stains on the tongue and lust for picking. Sticky as bluebeards, you know, dark blobs burn like a plate of eyes. Like that just had like a lot of imagery. And so I really looked at, again, all of these things, and you can go through and really pick out the TP fast stuff. You'll notice here on the right-hand side, I have a theme. What is the poem saying about blank? Again, that's the question I want to answer. Okay, and that answer is my theme statement. So then what we want to do is we want to symbolically illustrate our interpretation of the text and support it with specifics gleaned from the poem. So your interpretation of the text is your theme statement. Okay. So literary graffiti combines the process of drawing with analytical thinking about a text. So you're going to be using symbols, drawing shapes, colors to construct a graphic of the poem. All right. And so you want to kind of use something similar to like this on the screen. Identify like what is your theme statement, or write it down. Then I would draw my picture. Then I would explain my picture. What is my picture showing? Okay. And then in the last box there, how does my picture represent the poem? How does it represent the theme statement? Okay, so this is where that writing piece really comes in handy, especially if you're like me and you're not the greatest drawer, okay, the greatest artist. So that's what we're going to be doing today. All right, so while I didn't have a picture of the poetry graffiti, you can see the process that I used, okay? You will have time to work on this tomorrow as well, and then it will be due next week, hours 1, 3, and 5 on Tuesday, and hours 2, 4, and 6 on Thursday. So you want to plan accordingly. I will be grading these, so please don't just slap something together at the last minute. All right, and if you have questions, please don't forget that I have office hours, so you just want to join that link that you always join for class, and I will be there today and tomorrow from 1:20 to 2:20 p.m. Good luck!